Tēnā koutou, te whānau. Welcome to the NZ Fantasy Football Federated Association Week 2 recap. I need to start sharing my screen, but we're back with round 2 of what has gone on in the Premiership for Week 2, so we'll crack on in, have a look and see what's happened. So the first matchup is myself versus Team Brontako. So even though he's been getting these amazing trades away, he's dropped to 0 and 2. I'm sure he'll bounce back eventually. According to projections, my team well overperformed. It's a great team effort from my team. Keenan Allen having an amazing week. An amazing week. Just solid contributions all round for my team, really. Aside from Keenan Allen, no out-and-out stud performers, but no one really on our benches noteworthy. So we started our best lineups, but he didn't really get the performance he needed from his star players. So take the dub there. Nothing much to talk about. Sam and Jaira in a super high scoring matchup. With Sam getting the win is super unlucky for Jaira because it would have been pretty much everyone else except for me. So he had the third highest scorer in the league for this week, and he lost. So a bit unfortunate, and he lost Saquon. That's a real rip to the undies. But he got Jared Goff for $1, so he's still got a lot of value left on his lineup. Sam's looking real nice there with CMC and Derrick Henry. He also did this with AJ Brown only scoring 5 points. So Sam is looking in a really good spot right now, sitting at 2-0. Got Jordan Love pumping it. CMC's obviously good. Pickens with a big touchdown. The Hawkstrap, Rashad White getting good volume there. That is 22 touches. Gotta love that. And then Isaiah Franklin Wagner, his defense doing well. Jeremy Chin absolutely killing it with his 5 points. And Jaira's team obviously doing really good as well. Great defense. Quay Walker, TJ Edwards, Christian Wilkins. It's just he didn't have that one extra player to put him over the edge, so unlucky Jaira, but still looking good. Actually, what's his Saquon replacement looking like? He's got Zeke, he's got Rashad. Oh, he's got Jerome Ford and Brian Robinson on the bench. Oh, Jaira, that is a wrap to the undies. Who did you start over Brian Robinson? You started Jake Ferguson over Brian Robinson. That is a fat L. And Tyler Higbee. It's too much volume there, Jaira. That is crazy. Hope you don't make that mistake again this season. Obviously, you're never starting Jerome Ford when Nick Chubb's there, so that makes sense why he's on the bench, but you should. Brian Robinson is a start every day. Anyone getting 18 carries, forget everything else. Forget the touchdowns. Anyone getting 18 carries is starting every week. That is crazy. Caleb and Lloyd in the low-scoring matchup. Not a lot to talk about here, especially when Josh Allen scores 30 points. Lloyd's team is looking garbage. But he's still got his big names like Chase Adams and Olave. He's got Puka as well. Jeez. So he's got a real good crop of receivers, so he should be doing better than what he is. But unfortunately, when you pay $1 for your defense, that is the sort of performance you get. So not looking great for Lloyd. And Caleb didn't even have Eckler, so not as bad as what we would have thought. But yeah, Caleb's defense is not doing a lot either. He's got Kyron Williams, Darren the Walrus, George Kittle, Drake London with the touchdown, Jefferson, Madison unlucky with the Akers trade, and the Gus Bus, Josh Allen. So all right turnout for Caleb, but I'm sure he'll expect much more. But you'll take the win. Oh, Jamie getting the close 4-point win over Cam. The Dolphins really didn't turn up against the Patriots. Although Tua is now 5-0 against the Patriots, but yeah, only 12 points, not ideal. 2 fumbles, 1 intercept, so that Patriots defense is always going to be good as long as Bill Belichick is the coach. So he'll see him again this year. On Jamie's side, we had Gibbs. I thought Gibbs had a better week than that. Kirk performing. Hollywood Brown. Josh Reynolds. Jeez. That is a rough start, but paid dividends. Jacobs and Javonte Williams. Jamie's team actually has a lot of upside still. To score 180 with Williams, Jacobs, and Gibbs doing nothing pretty much. What do you have on defense? Big week on defense. Mosley, Diablo. Man, his quarterback's really carrying him. That 30 points from Herbert is huge. The other side, we had Tua, Ken Walker, Tyreek. Yeah, that. Wow, he started Swift, 28 points, 28 carries. That will probably be his best game of the season. Swift's definitely a sell high at this stage. But yeah, it's a bit unlucky. Defense just a wee bit trash. Luvu with the big game, jeez. And Anzalone with the big game. But that is just a black hole. 8 points out of 3 players. Can't have that. He's got Kirk Cousins with 40 points on the bench. Kirk Cousins is RB1, QB1 on the season. But yeah, if you're stacking him with Tua, I get it. Unlucky Cam. Sylvan with the high score, beating out Clarence. Oh, sorry, Clarence scored over 200 as well. So Jaro was the 4th highest of the week. It's a bit unlucky. He only had 8 points from his quarterback too. That is rough. 11 is also rough. Got the Bijan Algier stack, paying dividends. Lockett with a big game. Wait, did I say Brees Hall? 0.9, jeez. Garrett Wilson with the big touchdown. Love it. Cook with the big volume, despite being vultured multiple times, and Addison with a big touchdown. So, oh my goodness, Fred Warner and Alex Highsmith, jeez, huge games. See some big burst games, and Russell Wilson had 40 points on the bench as a rip to the undies. Danielle Hunter with 3 sacks against Philadelphia, crazy. And TJ Watt with the big game. Micah Parsons, what a defense. And Mike Evans just turning the clock back. You absolutely love to see it from Mike Evans. He's personally one of my favorite players to watch. Such an underrated receiver. He's had a trash quarterback most of his career. So it's great that he can keep up this play with Baker. Mixon and Sanders doing nothing. Lamb, Mike Williams. So here's some big bursts from both sides actually. So a bit concerning up here with like Watson, Sanders, Mixon, but if he continues to get those bursts, then Clarence should be alright. So they go 1-1. And then who's the last player? Gav versus Eli. So Gav is looking good, and he has just lost David Montgomery. So it's a bit of a shame. Debo's obviously good. T. Higgins is going to be interesting with Jake Browning potentially playing because calf injury to Burrow. Waddle, a bit of a down game, and Nick Chubb, that is the rips the undies for Gav. So in 1 week, he's lost Montgomery and Nick Chubb. But with Mostert, and yeah, he's just got Mostert pretty much. So he's going to need to go Hundies on the defense because it is near impossible to make up for. I mean, he's got Charbonnet, Moss, Singletary on the bench to fill gaps, but yeah, and Marvin Mims with a big game too. So I mean, he's got players to definitely fill in there, but I mean, no one replaces Nick Chubb, and then Montgomery's getting good volume at the line, so Gav is going to go through a real tough phase. Worst of luck, but Gav somehow always manages to find a way. It's one thing I've learned about Gav over the years is that he doesn't make excuses like some other people named Andreas. He just gets on with it. He makes moves and he puts together the best lineup possible. So he's sitting 2-0 despite the injury. Sam is well ahead. Sam has kicked off the season to a great start, the highest scoring 2-0. And then to round out the top 4, we've got Clarence and Sylvan. So if we look at, how do we go to transactions? I think we've only had one trade. How do we... Ah, there we go. Recent activity, trades. So we had this absolutely garbage trade where Sylvan offered James Cook and Garrett Wilson, and in return, he received Jesse Bates, Christian Watson, and Jalen Warren. Now, if we go to the Discord and we see Sylvan's justification for this, this is some of the most hot garbage I've ever seen in my life when it comes to fantasy football. Or was it in the chat? Was it in this chat? So I said to Sylvan, you know, you want to take at least 3 to 4 games before you start trying to look at trades, unless he's seen something really terrible. And so I asked Sylvan, what did he learn about Garrett Wilson that he made in 2 games? Bearing in mind, Garrett Wilson's been on the field playing, scored 2 touchdowns. What has he seen about him that made him want to trade him away, and in return, trade away with James Cook, and in return receive someone who hasn't even played on the field yet, in Christian Watson? And his justification is he is super limited while he is with Zach Wilson. Well, he's not that as limited as Christian Watson, who's not even on the field. And that won't change. He doesn't know. Zach Wilson could get better. Plus, he is facing nasty defenses for a while. He literally just played the Cowboys, one of the best defenses in the NFL, and had a great week. Watson was a smash last year with Aaron Rodgers, sure, who does not have Aaron Rodgers this year. And the Packers look even better this year. I mean, they do not look better. They literally just choked the game to the Falcons and lost by 1 point. They do not look better than what that is so subjective. Like I said, if I'm wrong, and I'll eat it. Just want to make some moves I think will work out the long term before his value drops further. Honestly crazy. So when you just thrown away 2 great pieces and you received no great pieces back. Jalen Warren is still a backup. He's not taking over the Pittsburgh backfield. Najee Harris is a first-round pick. Christian Watson, we don't even know what he is with Jordan Love at the moment. He hasn't even played. And Jesse Bates, if you're trading for DBs, you can get DBs anytime you want off waivers. Completely irrelevant in this trade. Garbage trade. So yeah, that's that one. And what else do we have on waivers? Where do we see that? Waivers here. So what happened this week? 20th. So I unfortunately got Hodgins at $5, which is a bit of a shame, but whatever. What else do we have? $4 for Spillane, Penny 0, Gardex 10. That weedy looking guy from Arizona. Westbrook Akine for 8. That's pretty shocking, to be honest. Burrito for 80. That is probably one of the worst waivers I've ever seen in my life, but Lloyd is so desperate at running back that he'll take a spot start for 3 weeks and hoping that Saquon just re-injures and he's got Breida for the rest of the season, but that is dog. Joey Bosa for 12. It's pretty wild that Bosa is on waivers, but now with the reduced format down to 1 required DL, he's been a bit hit or miss. Like last year, how many sacks did he have? He only had 2.5 sacks in 5 games, so, and then the season before they had 10. So he's actually been he's actually been average for his whole career. Wow. Didn't realize Joey Bosa's never hit that high end in sacks ever in his career. Unreal. Getting paid a lot of money though. It could be a bit of bait. And then Tank Dell for 33. That is probably solid. Hard to say, but worth the punt on 33% of your fab. So, I mean, the 80 is pretty shocking, but I get it. It's hard to get running back, so you do what you got to do. So that is the Premiership for this week. Let's move on to the Championship.